What is up, folks? This is J.R.R, and welcome back to Tolkien Craft 2. I think I have decided I do kind of like the materials I use there. As you can see, I'm also not done with the top of it, but we'll get there someday. um, I'm kind of not really working on it too much since I've decided that I'm going to put my magic stuff somewhere else. But let's say I was originally going to put it over here. I'm still kind of tempted to because I like this area. I think it's really pretty. But I really want to build in the Lord of the Rings area. Sorry, I was just thinking there. You know what I might do is put my magic stuff here and make a city that we work on over time over in the Lord of the Rings area. So the reason I want to go over there is because I would like to... They have some really cool stuff over there. The questing isn't really that great quite yet, just because it is still in beta and, you know, it's... Gosh, the mod maker has done a lot of work. I mean, he's redone the terrain gen completely from the original Minecraft, and it's really it has the potential to be really awesome. Like, there's invasions and bandits that steal your stuff, and there's all kinds of really cool things, but it's not done yet. So, you know, while it is really cool, it's still lacking in some areas. So I mean, I want to get involved in it, but at the same time, I'm kind of worried because I'm sure there's going to be a big update where things just change completely, and then everything that I've worked on is just going to go away if I update, you know, so I'm kind of hesitant to do that. But yeah, I might go ahead and just make our magic area over here. We're gonna see. I'm actually recording this probably about a week and a half before it's gonna air, just because I'm going to be away for quite a while. But by the time you see this, I think this will be aired on the day that I get back. So I just wanted to go ahead and record a bunch of episodes for you guys, so that even though I'm going to be away, you know, you've got something to watch, because I know a bunch of you have, you know, said that you really are enjoying the series, and really that means a lot to me. So I wanted to go ahead and do that for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to work on the system over here. Now, I was thinking, well, I've got a bit of a problem right here. And actually, I just thought of a way that would be really simple in how to solve it. It's going to be a bit overkill because I'm not going to use that many channels on this, but I don't have enough channels to have this top area supported. I just need one more channel. But unfortunately, I'm not going to get it from this cable unless I upgrade it to a dense cable. But I kind of feel silly just, you know, I only need one more channel. I've got 2 channels left on this thing, but oh, alright, yeah, we'll do it. We'll use dense cable just so I can get one more. That seems so silly. Alright, so what we're gonna need are they called struts? No, I keep wanting to call them struts, but they're not called struts. What are they called? They're called anchors, cable anchors. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the cable anchors out. We're also going to need the dense cable. How many do I have of these? I've got 22. Okay, so that's going to be more than enough. Alright, so let's go ahead. Oh, you know what? I could just take this off and put it somewhere else. You know what? I think I'll do that, because that's going to give me exactly what I need. Because, yeah, see, now we've got our 3, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I'll just put this one, I'll put it right here. I guess I could have put it on the back of those machines, but that'll be kind of a weird place. Not that this is a great place, but you can still access everything down here. Alright, yeah, that should be fun. And I'm going to take the staircase out because it bothers me having to bounce up and down it all the time. That's going to be a little strange, but that was never going to be permanent anyway. Alright, so what do I need? I need some more export buses. Now, I'm going to need... Really, I'm not sure how many I'm going to need, because it's going to be a lot. There's no doubt about that. So, I'll go ahead and put these two down. I'll probably need at least one more, but I do need to experiment a bit with these to see which ones need to be put in the furnace and which ones need to be put in the pulverizers. So I'm going to do that off camera real quick. Won't be all that quick, but I'll be back with you guys in just a second. Okay, folks, so I considered not showing this part because it's going to be a bit fiddly. But I did want to show you this. So I have shown you this before, I believe, but I need to use 2 expansion cards on each of these. Too bad I can't use more of them. But, let's say, because that would be so useful. But I can kind of understand how they wouldn't want it to be, you know, too great. But there are ways around doing that, just like I'm doing right now. But yeah. So I'm going to need to put, for example, each of the coal ore types in here. So, you know, there's 4 that I have. There might actually be more in the Artifice mod, but, you know, this is what I've gotten so far. So I'm going to try to, let's say I've gotten these out of the way. I need to keep everything separate just to make sure that I've gotten everything. But yeah, as you can see, there definitely are some more, for example, lapis ones here, and I've only got that redstone. Have I got any more redstone over here? Actually, yes. So I'm trying to keep basically, you know, the same type of stuff within there so that I can look and say, okay, so I've got 4 coal types. I've only got 3 lapis, so I'm missing something, right? Instead of just putting whatever in each of these and, you know, poking through them. Okay, how many did I count of those again? You know, I'm not really sure. So I guess I'll just use this as a kind of an update just to show you what I'm doing. And I'm going to keep all the dense ores together as well, because I'm going to need to treat those a bit differently. Because what happens is when you pulverize these, it comes up as, I don't really want to use that. Where's a normal here? Okay, so here's a copper. So when you pulverize them, you can smelt them down to 3 ingots, but that's really, really wasteful. Oh, and I bit my tongue. Alright, so when you pulverize them, you get 4 normal copper. So what I need to do is to be able to then turn that around and macerate it again. That way we get 8 ingots instead of, say, the 3 that we'd normally get if we just put in a redstone furnace. Now, it does take quite a bit of RF, but let me just show you the point of what I've gotten to so far. Now, we've been running the quarry quite a bit, but we still got over 10 billion, over 10.5 billion RF, so we're doing just fine on energy, so I'm not really worried about that. Now, if we were to run everything full power all the time, energy might eventually get to be a problem. It's running just fine right now. I think 3 engines was actually giving me a bit more than I needed to run all of my machines constantly. So 4 is plenty to build up power as well as run everything. But I'm just not wanting a bunch of extra items to be flushing the system while I'm working on this. We could leave it on, but yeah, that's just my concern at the moment. I did make a bunch of upgrades to these. All these are 16Ks, they were 1Ks, so I should have plenty of storage for the moment. All these 4K drives are full. But yeah, actually these 4 are 16Ks as well, but all these 4Ks are full as well. So this should be plenty for right now, but eventually it's going to be a problem. And that's a bunch of lava. 13 kilobuckets. Yeah, that's a lot. Actually, that's a lot of crystal oil too. But I've got those running full time as well. But they're starting to run pretty low. Yeah, I've only got 9 in here. They're not distributing evenly, but yeah, I've got 35 in that one. So I've been kind of moving them around if I see that some of them are getting too low, like that one is. But hopefully as soon as we set this system up completely, that's not going to be a problem anymore, because I've got a lot of coal in here that's just waiting to be turned into actual coal. Yeah, see, I've got, yeah, 1533 just 1533 of just the dense coal, and I've got 15,000 coal, so in addition to these other various types. So I'll be turning all those into blocks, and then, you know, that's going to be more than enough over there. But let me get back to this sorting, and then I will show you what I've come up with. Okay folks, so I've been doing some playing around with things, and there's a couple things that I would like to talk to you guys about, but obviously I've had to do some reworking. Now that I've done this, I don't know that it's completely necessary, but it's nice to have the room either way. And obviously these walls and stuff are gonna be reworked later. Alright, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about that's actually not related is the dimensional anchor, and I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this for several episodes, but I keep forgetting. So if you can remember the world anchor that we made quite a ways back, this is actually a better version of it. I think I still like the chicken bones version of the Chunklator better than this one, but this is effectively like the chicken bones world anchor, except for it's from a different mod, from Dimensional Anchors. It works pretty much exactly the same, except for it doesn't have, that I can tell, the lines that show you exactly what area you're doing. Now, something it does have, I'm not sure if it's part of that mod or not, but let me go outside real quick. I've actually put a hatch right here so we can get outside a little easier. Now if I do, is it F9? Oh goodness. Alright, now I think this is actually part of NEI instead of part of the dimensional anchors, but it might be a function of that, is it shows in red what chunks are loaded. So we can tell, you know, without the chicken bones version, what chunks are loaded. But at the same time, I think I still like the other version better. But this version is definitely better than the Railcraft version of the World Anchor. So I'm using that now, and it doesn't require fuel. So let's go and turn that off and turn that off as well. Alright. So let's get back to this and not hopefully go off on any more tangents. Alright, so I was adding more and more and more, and I took a second to, let's say, redstone ore. There's a lot of versions that I just don't have. Alright, so there's up to 8 versions, including the dense ore of redstone ore that's available through Artifice. So yeah, this version isn't going to work without a absolute ton of export buses. So instead what I'm going to do is take a look at the ore converter. Oops. So I have not used this before, the ore dictionary converter, and this is the automatic version, so I imagine this is the one that I'm going to want. So I thought we would go ahead and take a look together and see how this works. Alright, so it looks like I need this version first. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop over here and craft this thing and take a look and see how it works. I should probably do this off camera first just to make sure it does what I think it does. But I figure, why not? You know, let you guys learn alongside me and, you know, maybe you know how it works already. But let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so let's pop in that pattern. And there's a zombie somewhere. Sounds like it's about to eat me. It's probably a wall. Are you down here? No? I'm gonna find this zombie really quick and, you know, deal with him before he drops me. Okay, I think I might have actually cut my words off a little bit there, so if I did, sorry about that. But he's dead. He was actually outside, so the surface is just like right here. I figured it was pretty close, but I wasn't sure if I filled this in with dirt or not. Alright, so let's get back to this. Alright, so ore converter. Alright, so we've already got our automatic ore converter, so let's see how this thing works exactly. Alright, so I'm hoping if you just pipe stuff into this guy, then you can go ahead and set the target down here as what you want. So let's go ahead. I'm going to stick this somewhere else. Okay, so it looks like I just need to break out the pickaxe. Alright, so let's go downstairs actually. Oh, zombies. Tempted to make a magnum torch just to deal with them, but it seems a little overkill. Alright, so we need somewhere. Actually, this should be fine. Alright, so we're going to need an import and an export. So let's go do that and that. Alright, we've got an export. Actually, you know, we're going to need a bunch of these anyway to go ahead and export them into here. I'm going to think this over a little bit more real quick, and then I'll be back with you guys. Okay, folks, so I figured something out that's even going to be better than this. Yeah. So I was sitting there thinking, I was like, you know, a lot of these, like export buses and stuff like that had a really awesome fuzzy mode that you could do in the last one. Well, I was like, you know, we have the capacity card to increase the area, and of course we've got the speed one, so maybe there's a fuzzy card, and apparently there is, so we're not going to have to worry about all of that. So I am so happy that I found that, because that saves me a big headache. Alright, so instead of using, where's my hole? Oh, it's over here. Instead of using a whole big array of these and having to put in every single type of redstone and lapis and everything like that, all we need to do is put in one type, and I'm going to put in the original type because that just seems reasonable to me. And then we're going to stick a fuzzy card in there, and what that's going to do is allow us to, for example, so we'll type in redstone again, or so say we put in the just normal 73 version. As you can see with these, now this one's going to be an exception. Alright, so we're going to have to put in two types then. Alright, so we're going to put in our regular redstone ore, which is done as 73. And then we're going to have to put in one of these 243s, or 843s, excuse me. And, you know, as you can see, it says like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It's going to pump anything that has the 843 in through there. So that's what the fuzzy mechanic does. And you can use it for things like enchanting books, pickaxes, bees, things like that, that have different data values next to them. So our fuzzy card is going to be a lifesaver as far as saving the number of export buses that we need for both sets of these. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set that up, and then I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. Okay guys, so this is actually turning out to be pretty nice. I'm going to cut it down even further than I thought it was. So as we've talked about, we can do the various versions of tin ore. So that in itself is really nice since there are a bunch of different versions through Artifice that would be used. But it also helps out in a few more things like dense ores, because the dense ores are set with 2040 values, 41 values, and 42 values. So as you can see here, we've got the numbers that I just mentioned, and these are all set with the same thing. So this one's like a 2040 with a value of 6. This one's 42 with a value of 13. So we can actually get rid of a lot of these different ores that we would otherwise have to individually account for in the export buses. It also does for some nice things like Project Red. So I really didn't expect this one. This one I could kind of understand, but this one I didn't expect at all. So we've got the Sapphire ore as 1861-1 and the Peridot ore as 1861-2. So we'll only have to put in one of these to account for all of them. So I can just put in the ruby, and then we'll also get the sapphire and the peridot going in there as well. So that's going to be extremely nice. The sulfur ore is going to be the same way because it's going to be through Artifice as well. So we're going to have to do the different applied energistics ones separately, but that's not a real big deal because that's what I was expecting for things like Project Red. I wasn't expecting to have this fortuitous event being only one is needed to pipe all of them out. So the fuzzy mechanic is going to help us out a bunch. So I'm going to go ahead and sort through everything, figure out exactly which ones I can account for, and then I'll be back with you guys in a minute once again. Okay folks, so we're back. Alright, so that actually cut us down significantly from where we were. This is the total amount that we needed. We did actually need both of those sulfur ores. I was wrong about that. But there's a bunch of other sulfur ores in here that are going to be cut out. So, and the same for a bunch of these different types. So that is really nice. So that cut us down to only needing 4. And we've got extra slots in this one, just in case something else comes in that has a number that we have not accounted for. And that's really easy to check on, because all you have to do is, once this stuff starts processing, a bunch of these ores are no longer going to be here, and you can just pick out the ores that aren't or are still in here and have a nice little selection, because yeah, they're going to be easy to see. Alright, so what we are going to need though is a way for the items that are coming from the dense ores to come back into here. So the question is, how exactly do I want to do that? Now, I set this up because I was thinking, oh, let's just, pump those exact things into here, but that's going to account for a lot of different things, so I'm not real sure. So I thought I knew what I was wanting to do, but Skeleton, I know you're dying, but could you die a little quieter, please? Oh, okay. Anyway, but I'm not quite sure exactly how I want to handle this now. Oh, great. He found a tree to hide under. I guess I could put, like, a sound muffler, but I don't know. I like being able to hear when I access things, so I don't really like the sound mufflers. The rain mufflers, on the other hand, those can be nice. Well, the sound mufflers are nice, too. Alright, so I'm getting off on a tangent again. I've been pretty bad about that in the last couple episodes, but I don't know. Maybe y'all like that. I don't know. I actually kind of like it when YouTubers go off on tangents, just because, I don't know, what they say ends up being fairly interesting. Maybe even more interesting than what they're working on, but maybe it can be a little frustrating too. Alright, so I'm going to have to work out exactly how I want to do this, because I'm going to need stuff like, for example, the redstone, the dense redstone or the dense charged Certus quartz is going to turn into a bunch of regular charged Certus quartz, which I then need to pump back in here again to have it pulverized again. So we're going to have to work on that. This is actually taking a lot more time than I thought it would, but that's okay. Yeah, that's all the fun of it, you know, figuring out exactly how you want to have things done. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this here, and then I'll again just do something like that. Now this probably is irritating a bunch of you, and it's irritating me as well. Maybe I'll add another ME chest here, even if I don't need it, just to make it balanced. I don't know. That's what I'll probably end up doing, but I'm not really worried about it too much at the moment. Alright, so why are you not getting power? Do you not connect? No, you connected. Oh, right, because I don't have that connected. Accidentally, I had this connected earlier, and all my items started flowing into the system, so I know it works, but I don't want to have the power connected at the moment because it throws things off and starts processing things, and then these get full of crap, and you know, I'm not ready for them to be there. Alright, so we're gonna need some import buses into here. Alright, so let's go ahead and make some of those. Alright, so we'll just, I don't think I have any in here. Looks like I've got a couple. Only got 2 though. I need definitely more than that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. So import. I'd really like to finish this up this episode, but that might not happen. Alright, so I need 6 total. So I need 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. And we'll just put them on the back like so. And we don't need to configure these because they're just going to work like we want them to. Because we don't need anything specific coming in. We just need everything coming in. Alright. So we do still have some export buses. We're going to need for these, but we need to process all of these items first before we get the dusts and such that we can then turn in to those. So I'll go ahead and stick these on here. Just looking at the setup that I've got over there. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, and just because I'm going to put it over here and need that again, so 4. Hopefully that's going to be enough. Actually, that looks like, oh, okay. It's just because the cables aren't up there yet. I was like, it looks like the left one's one lower. How did that happen? The ceiling's flat. Alright, so we've got those. Okay. Okay, so actually this is not going to be connecting here because these are exporting the final materials. So we're gonna need this to go into here. Okay, but this up here is going to connect. Maybe we need to change this chest location. I'm going to rework how this looks later on, but I'll connect it now like it is just so you guys can see what's going on. Alright, so actually it needed to be there. I'm picky even about my temporary stuff. That's just the way I am. Alright. Whoops. Okay, so as you can see here, it's all going to be processed from these. They're going to come out the back here, get imported into this chest, and then it's going to be exported from along this line into these where it's going to go in here and be processed. Now, the part that I'm a little bit concerned about is getting all of this done, because I want to be able to have a one-way system. I don't want this to be hooked up to my main AE system, but I want it to be exported this way. And I think, if I'm right, a way that we can do that is a P2P tunnel. I'm going to have to go into my test world and mess around with that a little bit, though, before I set that up. Because I have not worked with P2P tunnels yet. There's something new with AE2, and we just haven't gotten to quite that level of technology yet. So I'm going to do that for a couple minutes, and then I'll be back with you guys. Alrighty folks, so after playing around with the P2P tunnels for about an hour, I decided that this is actually probably going to be a bit simpler. So I just got the export buses here, pumping everything back into the system that they'll eventually be put back into the pipes when these dense ores are processed. So everything's coming out into here. They're getting pulverized, being pumped over to the chest, in which you can see stuff is getting stored in here. And then what I'm going to do is take things like coal, for example, which don't need any further processing, and I'm going to put it in here. That way it's pumped out into here, and then pumped into this. Basically, it's a buffer chest to where this is the main system. So this is my system that this is hooked up to, and has all my items in it and all that kind of stuff. So this is a separate one by itself, and I keep not clicking on the side or on the top. So maybe I'll put some speed upgrades in here because it's going pretty slow. You can see 8, 7, and so on. And that stuff's actually getting back or pumped into there faster than it can pump it out. So I'll put some speed upgrades on this. And then once I have items filling up in here where I've done enough of, the ore processing, I'll start the dust processing over here, in which I'll put all the dusts and whatnot in here, like the iron here, and the smashed cinnabar ore will work the same way, but I'll pump out sulfur and pulverized coal and redstone and lapis and all that kind of stuff, and all that'll go back into the main system. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. It might be a little bit overdone, but nah, I'm not really worried about it. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. So, and it's not going to be processing all of my dusts when I don't want all of them processed. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. And I'm trying to think. I would love to promise that I'm going to do the auto crafting next episode, but while it'll be tomorrow for you guys, it'll actually be a week and a half, 2 weeks between when I record this episode and when I record the next episode. So yeah, it'll be a little while, and I'm not sure that, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So that's what I'm planning on, but you know how that goes. Alright, so I guess that will be it for this one. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day.